Hello everyone, welcome to Hands-on ICD-10 Coding Tutorial, Session 6, How to Code Neoplasm, Part 2. First, I will give you the summary of this session. In Session 6, I will review the steps of neoplasm coding, and also we will go through 3 coding examples for neoplasm. So please pause the video for each of the coding exercise, and then you can watch the video to see how I code it. For neoplasm coding, we usually have 4 steps. Step 1 is to go to the ICD-10 CM book, find the neoplasm table. And then second step is do the code lookup by row. So actually you look for the main term or subterm from the row of the table. For example, you look for the lung as the main term, and then under lung, you look for the lower lobe for the subterm. So once you find the row, the next step, step 3, is to find the column. The column, there are 6 columns. Each column corresponds to one type of neoplasm. We have 6 types of neoplasm. So type 1 is the malignant primary. Type 2 is malignant secondary. And then the third type is CA in situ. And then the fourth type is benign neoplasm. And the fifth type is neoplasm of uncertain behavior. And the last type, type 6, is the neoplasm of unspecified behavior. So once you find the row and the column, you actually find a code in the table cell. And then the fourth step is to verify the neoplasm code by going back to ICD-10 CM tabular list. So this is a very important step to ensure the code is correct. So this step is the same as you do ICD-10 CM index lookup. Also, please notice that if you cannot find a code in the neoplasm table, then you have to use the ICD-10 CM index of diseases. Okay, so let's go through the first example. A patient has small cell carcinoma of the lower lobe of the right lung with metastasis to the intrathoracic lymph nodes, brain, and right lip. Patient is a smoker with 2 packs a week. So now is the time to pause the video. Feel free to pause the video and go through your ICD-10 CM book and find the neoplasm table. So the first thing we want to code is the carcinoma of the lung, lower lobe. So again, I will demonstrate to use this online book. Here, go to ICD-10 CM neoplasm. So this is a table. We are looking for carcinoma of lung. So lung starts with L. Let's click here and then look for lung here. Let's click lung. And then our body part is lower lobe here. And then this is the primary malignant. So we just choose click the first column here, C34.3, and that's dash there. That means you need more digits. So let's go there, and then C34.3 is malignant neoplasm of lower lobe. So we have right lung. So the code here is right. So it's C34.31. This is the code we're looking for. So again, you have to make sure you read the coding notes. So here it mentions use additional code. So like tobacco use. So we got the first code. C34.31. The second code is lymph. So since the neoplasm has metastasis to the lymph, so let's go back to the coding neoplasm table. Lymph starts with L here, lymph, and then we have intrathoracic here. So again, this code is the secondary, malignant secondary, because it's not the primary side, it's the metastasis side. So here we have C77.1. So let's click here, go to the click the code, go to the tabular list. C77.1, secondary and unspecified malignant neoplasm of intrathoracic lymph nodes. So that's what it means. Okay, make sure you read the coding notes here. So it has exclude one nodes, make sure you read through them. So the second code is C77.1. And then also the malignant neoplasm metastasis to the brain. So let's go to the table, neoplasm table, and the brain. So look for the main term here is brain, okay? And then because it's malignant secondary, so it should be C79.89. Oh, sorry, this one here, C79.31. So let's click here, go to the tabular list. So C79.31, that's the secondary malignant neoplasm of the brain. So also make sure you read the notes. So this is the right code we get. The fourth code is the neoplasm in the rib. So let's go back to the neoplasm table, and then rib. So again, I can try to search here, rib. Here we have several entries under lib directly, and then we know it's secondary malignant. So it's C79.51. So also we have an entry of lib under bone. So it's also the same code. So C79.51, that's the code we're looking for. Let's go to the, click the code to go to the tabular list. And make sure you read the coding notes. So that's the fourth code we have, C79.51. And lastly, we have tobacco use. So we can search, that's another neoplasm code. So we can search the code using the search ICD-10 CM code. So tobacco use. Tobacco use. So we have several entries here. So the last one here, Z72.0, tobacco use. So you click the details to expand all the details here, to read through the notes here. So again, you can also click the book symbol to go to the tabular list. Tobacco use, Z72.0. It's non-primary code. Okay, I think we finished this code. Finish this coding example. Let's go back to the slides here. To summarize, the answer for this example 1 is the first code is C34.31, malignant neoplasm of lower lobe, right bronchus or lung. The second code is C77.1, secondary and unspecified malignant neoplasm of intrathoracic lymph nodes. And the third code is C79.31, secondary malignant neoplasm of brain. The fourth code is C79.51, secondary malignant neoplasm of bone. And finally, we have Z72.0 for tobacco use. So we finished this first example. So the second example, the patient received chemotherapy following recent diagnosis of carcinoma of the small intestine in the area where the duodenum and jejunum join. So we have two things here. One is chemotherapy, and then we have carcinoma of a small intestine. So feel free to pause the video and get your coding book. Code this example, please. Okay, let's do it here. First, go to the first we have to code chemotherapy. So we can use the search ICD-10 CM code here. So we have several entries for chemotherapy. There's one entry here, encounter for anti-neoplastic chemotherapy, Z51.11. So we can click this book sign here, to book symbol, to go back to the tabular list. Make sure you read this through, read all the coding notes here. So that's our first code for chemotherapy. Second code is the carcinoma small intestine. So let's go to the neoplasm table. So the body part is intestine. Intestine started with I here. Looking for intestine, intestinal, and then you have large, and then you have small. And then we have further details about the body part. That's the overlapping region. So it's here, C17.8. Let's go back to the, click the code, go back to the tabular list. C17.8, malignant neoplasm of overlapping sites of small intestine. Okay. So to summarize, we have two codes for the coding example 2. First, Z51.11, encounter for anti-neoplastic chemotherapy. The second code is C17.8, malignant neoplasm of overlapping sites of small intestine. So in this case, if the patient is only for, the encounter is only for chemotherapy, so we have to put the chemotherapy code as the principal diagnosis or the first diagnosis. And then second diagnosis will be the neoplasm code. Okay, let's go through the final example for neoplasm. So a 55-year-old female was diagnosed with left breast cancer 3 years ago, and she had left mastectomy performed with chemotherapy administration at that time. She has been well since that time with no further treatment except for yearly checkups. The patient is now being seen with chest pain and coughing. Workup was completed, which revealed metastasis to the left lung, causing these symptoms. This was identified as being metastatic from the breast, not a new primary. So please feel free to pause the video to code all this, code this example. First, let's code the left lung neoplasm. So go to the neoplasm table here, And look for L for lung. So we have lung here, but in this case, the lung is the secondary site. So it's because it's the metastatic cancer in the lung. So we choose the second column, malignant secondary. So it's C78.0. There's dash here, that means need more digits. Let's click here to go to the tabular list. Here, C78.0, secondary malignant neoplasm of lung. And then we know we have left lung here. So the code should be C78.02. This is the code, the primary code for that example. Also make sure read all the coding notes. Excludes 1, excludes 2. Okay, we get the first code. The second code is it has a history of breast cancer. So let's go to so in this case we have to go to the index to diseases and injuries. So history, personal history. Let's look for history. Start with H here, and then look for history. Click history, and then I think it will have family history and also have personal history. Make sure we go to the family personal history. So this personal history, and then look for breast personal history. So here, personal history, and then we look for the malignant neoplasm. So under history, go to malignant. So it's way down. So here, first look for personal history, and then the malignant neoplasm, and then you have breast. So the code is Z85.3. Let's click this to go to the tabular list to verify that. Z85.3, personal history of malignant neoplasm of breast. So that's the second code. So another way to code this history of breast cancer, you can type history breast neoplasm in the ICD-10 CM search here. We have 3 entries here. There's family history, that's not what we want. We want personal history of malignant neoplasm of breast, Z85.3. Again, you can click the book symbol to go to the tabular list. So that's another quicker way to find the code for personal history of breast cancer. So the third code is the because the mastectomy, we have absence of breast, left breast. So we can go to the index to diseases and injuries. So this is absence. Absence here of breast acquired. Breast here. So as absence of breast acquired, Z90.1. The dash here means that means it need more digit. Let's click this code here to go to the tabular list. Here we have left. So it's Z90.12, acquired absence of left breast and nipples. So this is the code we need. Also, make sure you read the coding notes for this code. And finally, we have because the patient went through the chemotherapy, so it has a personal history of chemotherapy. Let's look for that code. So you can do a code search here. So it's personal history of chemotherapy. Here, personal history of anti-neoplastic chemotherapy, Z92.21. So you can click here to expand the details. This is not a primary code. And also you can go to click the book symbol to go to the tabular list. And then make sure you read all the notes. So we have 4 codes for this example. So let's summarize the code we have. The first code, the primary code or principal code is C78.02. It's a secondary malignant neoplasm of the left lung. And then the second example, the second code is Z85.3, personal history of malignant neoplasm of breast. And the third code, Z90.12, acquired absence of left breast and nipple. The fourth code is Z92.21, personal history of anti-neoplastic chemotherapy. So again, we have went through 3 coding examples for this session. So I think we will have the last session, another session on neoplasm. So thank you very much for watching. This is the session 6 for neoplasm coding. Thank you.